everybody, I'm in the kitchen again today. This afternoon I have 2 recipes for Christmas morning breakfast. The holidays are always so stressful and we're always so busy, and Christmas morning I want something special for breakfast. And breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, so I don't want to miss that, but I also don't want to be stuck in the kitchen. We've got Christmas stockings to open and things to do, and I would rather be in the living room with my family than in the kitchen slaving away over a hot stove. As much as I love to cook, I would still rather be in the living room than in the kitchen. So today I've got 2 recipes that are really easy. You just mix them up, throw them in the oven, set the timer, and come back when they're done. And you can spend that time with your family instead of in the kitchen. So the first thing I'm going to make is just a regular run-of-the-mill everyday breakfast casserole. We eat this a lot, and it's just a really good way to clean out the fridge for me. The first thing you do is you'll need eggs. Okay, I do about 5 or 6. Here again, we're always cracking our eggs into a separate bowl. Oops. And making sure they're good. You never want to crack an egg right into your mixing bowl. You could get shell in there. You could get a rotten egg. See, I can't hang on to the shells. You could get all kinds of things in there that you don't want. There's 3. 4, 5. Oops. Oh no, I forgot to dump those. I got to counting. Good thing they're both good. And I'm going to do one more just for good measure. Okay. So there's half a dozen eggs, and then I need some milk. You can use half and half. You can use cream, milk, whatever you have. I happen to have milk here today, so that's what I'm going to use. Sometimes it's half and half, sometimes it's whatever. I'm going to say about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of milk. And, whoops, let's see, where's my whisk? There's my whisk. Okay, so when you whisk eggs together, you want to take your whisk and kind of poke the yolk and break them up, and they just whisk up a lot better. So I break those up first, kind of get them going. Stay, okay. And then I start adding in all the goodies. First thing you want to add in, of course, is your salt and pepper. We like a lot of pepper, so I tend to go a little heavy on that. There's my salt. A little sprinkle of salt. And then in every breakfast casserole, I put in some onions and garlic. I happen to have dried onions. You can certainly use fresh. You could use green onions. Those are also delicious if you have those. Just whatever you happen to have on hand. I'm going to do about that much. Maybe a tablespoon. It's just a nice addition. Get some garlic. It's really up to you. If you don't like the garlic, you can of course skip it. I put in about that much. A teaspoon and a half maybe. Okay. All right. And then here is what starts making this casserole very, very tasty. I put in some nice whole grain mustard. You can use regular mustard, you can use a Dijon. I don't care for honey mustard, but that's up to you. So this I use a really big squeeze of, because I like the way it tastes. Okay, and then we're going to clean out the spice cabinet. So I've got a nice big bunch of parsley, If you have any fresh herbs in your fridge that you want to get rid of, you can do that as well. That's just what I have on hand. Okay, and mix him up just a little. All right. There's my egg mixture. Very, very simple. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side for just a minute. This, for about half a dozen eggs, fits in a pan roughly this size. Maybe a little bit bigger. It kind of depends on how thick you want it. If you do half a dozen eggs in a larger pan, of course your casserole is going to be thinner. I like to stick to this size. I feel like this is about enough for my family. So, okay, so grease your pan. Spray it good because eggs tend to stick. And then I put in tater tots. Just a couple of nice handfuls, just like that. Kind of cover the bottom, like that. You don't want it too tight because you have other things going in here, okay? If you have leftover boiled potatoes, you could use that. If you have hash browns, you could use that as well. I just like the tater tots. And then we're going to clean out the fridge some more. So this is just a couple of pieces of bacon and a little bit of sausage that was left over this week. It seems like we make the whole package, but we never eat quite all of it. So you can do this, any leftover bacon, sausage, ham. You can cut up bratwurst. That would be really good in here. Italian sausage, things like that. Kielbasa, pretty much anything like that. I'm just going to crumble the bacon in and sprinkle it over the top. Okay. And here's my sausage. Just kind of do the same with the sausage. Like I said, this is just what I had in the fridge. This is typical leftovers for us. And then we have breakfast casserole on Sunday morning to use up the leftovers. It's a really good opportunity to clean out the refrigerator. If you have, you know, maybe some bell peppers or something that you need to use up, you could put that in here. I don't, but you sure could. Okay, so that's that. And then we need cheese. And here I go cleaning out the fridge again. Now, this is for Christmas breakfast. Christmas Eve, my family and I always have, well, we go to church, and then we come home, and we have the most glorious feast in the world. We have cheese and crackers and meats and punch and cookies and all kinds of finger foods and candies and, you know, pigs in a blanket. And my mom makes this wonderful chicken enchilada dip, and it's just great. But the day after, we always have little bits and pieces of cheese left, which of course always get used, but this is a good way to use them up pretty quick. Okay. So all I'm going to do is take my little pieces of cheese and kind of chop them up. Again, no real science here, just whatever. I don't shred them. I like the chunks of cheese in here. This one is a cheddar, and I don't remember what this one is, but that's okay. Okay, just sprinkle it over the top, and I think that's enough. I don't think I'm going to use that piece. Okay, here we go. We have nice bits of cheese everywhere. Got our meat and potatoes in there. And now, this lovely egg mixture goes right back in. Okay. Just like that. Kind of push him down. Push all that cheese down in there. Now, if you want to put shredded cheese over the top before you bake it, you sure can. I'm saving my shredded cheese for another recipe, so I'm not going to, but you sure could. This goes in the oven then. I've got a preheated 400-degree oven. It bakes for 45 to 50 minutes. If you take a knife, when you think it's done, if you take a knife and put it right in the middle, it should come out clean. If it looks like this, see, it's got stuff on it, it's not done. Put it back, okay? It should come out nice and clean. All right, so I'm gonna put that in the oven right away. Okay, so that was easy, right? Without all of my talking, that was probably 6 minutes of prep work. Set the timer on that, 45 to 50 minutes, walk away, have your fun with your kids, come back when the timer goes off, okay? Now the next thing I'm going to make is a little more special. That one is a regular breakfast casserole. We eat it all the time. Christmas morning, I want something a little more special. So please don't turn me out yet. The next thing I'm going to make is a sweet onion herb goat cheese quiche. I hope you're still with me now. I know some of you probably went, oh, quiche, oh, onions, oh, goat cheese. No, this is wonderful. You've got to try this. I feed a hungry farmer, and the first time I made this for him, granted, I didn't tell him what it was. I just told him it was breakfast casserole and a pie crust, and I said, oh, it's fine, I just had a pie crust to use up, you'll like it. And he was a good sport about it. He ate it. But then the next thing I knew, he went back for another piece, and then pretty soon he said, this is way better than what you make us normally. He said, you got to make this again. So moral of the story is, if a hungry farmer will eat it, it's got to be good. Okay, so here's our quiche. First thing we need is a pie crust. Again, it's Christmas morning. Take a little help from the store. This is a frozen pie crust. I think a package of 2 cost me $1.50. If you want to make your own, that's totally fine. But Christmas morning, I don't want to. I just want to put it in the oven and go. So here's our frozen pie crust. And then the next thing we're going to need is 2 medium onions sliced very thinly. Okay, so I've got a bunch here that I've already sliced. It's a big pile of onions. Okay. I had one really big one and one little one. So I'll slice the little one for you. This is a mandolin. This makes quick work of this job. It's got a very, very sharp blade, so you need to be very, very careful with it. If you don't have one of these, you can definitely do it with your chef's knife. It just takes a little bit longer. But since I have all the fun kitchen gadgets, I'm going to do it on my mandolin. So start with your onion. Leave the root end intact. And this goes really quick. Okay, you just have to watch your fingers. Slow down when you get to the root end. Stop when he gets to about there, because I don't want to slice off my fingers. And there it is. Perfectly sliced onion in no time flat. Okay, so here's my pie crust. And I'm going to put all of my onion in here. It's really important that when you put the onion in, you don't put it in like this. You need to separate the rings, okay? You need to do that so the egg mixture gets down in there. All right. I know this looks like a lot of onion, but that's okay. It's worth it. Everything that goes in here is a pantry staple. The only thing you may have to buy is the goat cheese. And I will tell you, goat cheese, if you've never had it, you need to try it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Smooth and tangy, and oh, it's just wonderful. But it will be a little bit pricey, okay? It's over in the specialty deli case. It's not with the regular cheese. And I've got a little too much onion, so I'm just gonna push him off to the side. I'll save him for something else. Okay, lots and lots of onion in our pie crust. That's okay. Here's our goat cheese. Okay, this is a 4-ounce log. You will need the whole thing. Like I said, this can be a little pricey. If you get to Hutch or Salina or another town with one of those wonderful grocery stores that starts with A, try to buy it there. This little log cost me $1.99 there. I priced it in Great Bend and it was like $3.99. So if you're going, make sure you stop there. They've got a lot of other neat stuff too, but this is definitely, every time I go, I stop and I pick up some cheese. Okay, so I'm just crumbling all of this over the top. I do need the whole package. Now you can get different flavors of goat cheese. This one is, what is it? Garlic and herb. Some of them are plain, some are chive, some are, there's a honey flavor. Don't use that in this, that'll be really weird, but plain is fine. Okay, so I've crumbled that all over the top. And then I need to make my egg mixture. Set him off to the side. Okay, yes, in the same bowl, because I am my own cleanup crew. I'm going to make the egg mixture for this quiche. This takes 5 eggs. So again, crack them individually. Don't want to hit a bad one and have to throw out your whole quiche. Okay. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, and the original recipe on this also calls for half and half. Doesn't really matter. Half and half, heavy cream, milk, whatever. Calls for a cup. So, again, I'm just kind of eyeballing. All right. We need some salt. You don't want to put in too much salt. Just a little sprinkle. And pepper. I go heavy on the pepper, but that's up to you. We just like it that way. Okay. Poke the yolk. Little whisk to get those broke up. All right. Now, we need 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. This is another thing you're going to have in your pantry, I'm quite sure. I'm just eyeballing. Yes, this is how I cook most of the time. Okay. But that's why you don't want to put in too much salt, because that parm is pretty salty. And then we need mustard. The original recipe calls for a whole grain, but since I put whole grain in the other, I'm going to put a lemon tarragon mustard into this one. And it calls for 2 tablespoons. So we're going to say that's 2 tablespoons. And then you need 1/3 cup of fresh herbs. Unfortunately, this is not a good time of year to get fresh herbs, because I don't know about you, but I don't have any grown in my garden right now. So if you have them, definitely use them up. If not, use whatever's in your pantry. I have a good amount of thyme, probably 2 teaspoons, and a good amount of parsley again. Chives go really, really well in this as well because they are onion flavored. But it's whatever you have. Okay, mix that up. All right. Bring our crust back over here. Pour that egg mixture over the top. Now I like to start in the middle and kind of work out, otherwise the herbs kind of get trapped in one spot. Okay, scrape all that goodie out. All right. Okay, next thing we need to do, last installment of cheese. It calls for a cup of shredded cheese over the top. You can use whatever's in your fridge. Swiss, mozzarella, whatever. I like the white cheese better than the yellow cheese. I find that we like the Italian style blend the best. So here it goes. It's a nice, I'm gonna put a little bit of that back. A nice amount of cheese over the top. You can go a little lighter on that if you would like. Okay, there it is. We're just going to put that in the 400-degree oven for, again, about 55 minutes. Set the timer, walk away. You're going to do the same knife test on it when you think it's done. And if it's not quite set, just put it in for 5 minutes at a time, okay? You want to put this on the middle rack. If you put it on the top rack, the top is going to burn. If you put it on the bottom rack, the crust is going to burn. So put it right in the middle of your oven. All right? Hope you guys try this for Christmas breakfast. It really is delicious. Believe me. Okay? Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.